So I've just been looking a bit more deeply into Fabianism or the Fabian Society, and this is like a political movement that really underpinned the development of the Labour Party in the early 20th century. And yeah, just looking into it, and this is one of the old bulwarks of British socialist, leftist, left-wing thinking, and so on. And if you just look at the sort of allusions within their kind of philosophy and their message, is that where was it? So obviously the society founded a year earlier called the Fellowship of the New Life, which had been a forebear of the British ethical and humanist movements. Early fellowship members included the visionary Victorian elite, among them poets Edward Carpenter and John Davis, and sexologist Havelock Ellis, and early socialist Edward R. Pease. They wanted to transform society by setting an example of clean, simplified living for others to follow. Some members also wanted to become politically involved to aid society's transformation. They set up a separate society, the Fabian Society. Clean, simplified living. At the heart of all this, I'm afraid to say, I think there's just a little hint of sort of ascetic Christian living, isn't there? And a sort of the fetishization of poverty, and the fetishization of living an austere, basic life, and renouncing the wonders of our societies, the technological innovations and this sort of stuff. And, we should go back and live in the woods and this nonsense. And, we should, or new medievalism, that would be like very much a modern day iteration, or a 21st century or later 20th century iteration of the same sort of thinking. The technology represents the sort of evils of the world, and we should give up on our technology. And we should give up on advanced industrial civilizations. And we should, go back to living meek and meagre peasant life in the woods or the countryside or something, or, and if that's too much technology eventually, or if that entails too many problems, we should go back to wearing animal skins, shouldn't we? And, hunting wild animals with sharp sticks, and, being subject to, cholera and tuberculosis and the plague and all the other diseases for which we need modern medicine to be able to combat, and it sets up kind of a rose-tinted spectacles vision of the past, and says, oh, weren't things so much better back in this golden age of whenever that never really existed, and it's this sort of bitter and frankly envious and rather spiteful undercurrent in a certain sort of leftist mode of thinking that says, we should reject the lives of, those better off, those who've managed to gain greater advantages in life, and we shouldn't seek to, rather than seeking to bring everyone up, which is the sort of leftist thinking that I advocate. And yes, wealth redistribution to give everyone in life, or everyone in a society, a better chance of being able to reap the rewards of living in it, and likewise to help capitalists who wish to make money in society by giving them a broader base of customers who can actually afford what they're selling. And to do things like, yes, drive innovation, yes, drive consumption, and hopefully consumption of quality products, and not the consumption of cheap rubbish. But yeah, like the clean, basic living, it's so holier than thou, isn't it? It's such a pitiful. It's the pitiful stance of the small hypocrite. So if you're going to be a hypocrite, at least go big with it. Hypocrisy without ambition, and it sneers on ambition as well. And I think that is a disgusting and destructive social disease in society. And it's all these people who spit on the ambition of the likes of Elon Musk, trying to get us to Mars because he knows NASA's never going to do it. And he's outdoing NASA, frankly, I think. You know, that SLS piece of crap on the launch pad has like failed to launch twice at this point. I bet it's going to blow up, isn't it, on the launch pad? Well, I bet it doesn't reach orbit or something. And yeah, it's just it's regressive leftism is what it is. It's this tendency to say like, no, we should not move forward. We should go backwards. And you know, we should not seek to say, well, we've got the technology now, we might as well use it. And in addition to having the technology, we might as well improve people's lives as well. It's, you know, like, oh, why are we launching rockets in space? Why don't we sort out this planet first? Like, don't you understand it, that this explorer instinct in us, this is what has led to the success and survival of our species. We have survived because we don't stay in one area. We have members among our community, explorer types, who translate into, you know, the Marco Polos and Ferdinand Magellans and Christopher Columbi. You know, and all these people. Yeah, and who are the 20th century iteration of those? Neil Armstrong. Like, that's a man whose name and Buzz Aldrin that stand alongside Columbus and Magellan and Mark, who else? Captain Cook, etc. And you know, we need more people like that. Neil Armstrong is he's the man who's gone the furthest that a human ever has. The furthest a man has ever gone away from anywhere, the planet. First, like, it's gone further than anyone's gone on the planet. It's gone off the planet to the moon. There's someone on the moon who's actually gone further than Armstrong on the moon that I'm not aware of. Like, and he did that in the fucking 60s. Right? Over 50 years ago. Half a fucking century. We can't do this again. Like, can you imagine if Columbus landed in America, came back, and, you know, then the Spanish were like, oh, we're not going to do that again. Like, why not? You know, like, the huge boons you can gain from it. Like, maybe like that's the reason we're not doing it. Like, the boons of it are unclear for us. Like, you know, America's kind of clear what the boons are. Oh, there's a few natives knocking around, but there's loads of like seemingly fertile farmland, so this could be fucking advantageous for us. Like, I don't understand, like, fusion. You know, we had the idea as well. Like, no one's also thought of it. And I think it's actually me who's thought of it. You know, doing fusion reactions in space. Like, well, that's the perfect place to do it because of the low temperatures. And what's the moon very rich in? Tritium. That doesn't occur very often on Earth. That's very rare. Tritium is incredibly rare and expensive, and not the reason why fusion reactions cost so much. But like, and yet doing fusion on the Earth is totally the wrong place to do it. But, you know, like, I think we could have got there. I do. You know, and going to Mars, I think we could have done that. And is it a problem that too many people go, no. Oh, and it's putting too much energy into naysaying and pointing out problems. Or I was saying, yeah, well, okay, all right. So, yeah, the cosmic rays issue, that is quite a big problem. But let's think about what, like, strength magnetic field we can create on Earth. Okay, we can create a magnetic field of, say, an MRI 1 Tesla. The Earth's magnetic field is 6 nanoteslas. So, we can create a magnetic field that's, what, 1 million times stronger than the Earth's? Ooh. So, like, surely does it not stand to reason we could create an Earth-strength magnetic field that covers a very large area? Or doesn't it? And, like, we can't use magnetic fields to, like, trap a bit of atmosphere in the... I mean, magnetic fields capture protons and electrons. They capture atoms as well. Don't we manipulate atoms with magnetic fields? Okay, trap a bit of atmosphere in a bubble. a magnetic field on Mars. And then we've got a fusion, like little artificial star in space. I'm sorry, like no one saw this before. Like a bit rough of me, isn't it? It's like berate humanity. But like, I'm sorry to say that there's a Luddism and a sneering upon science, technology, engineering, and maths that helps no one. It doesn't even help the adherents of those sorts of ideologies. You know, like you go back to it was wonderful. We have new medievals. We're all sort of dancing around the maypole and eating roast beef and drinking mead, and it was wonderful. The murder rate was about like 30 times higher, like ridiculous amount. It was incredibly violent. People were deeply uneducated. There was widespread poverty, widespread disease. It was a brutally authoritarian and ignorant society and suspicious. We don't need to fall back into that. We don't need to espouse pre-Enlightenment ideology in this day and age. Or obviously, like the certain sort of leftist types will encounter, they'll be, the most atheist, the most secularist, right? And you really peel away the fragments of the ideology, like it is bang on point with like hardcore Calvinist thinking, hardcore Calvinism, Christianity, more like extreme radical Protestant thinking, and it's just veiled with atheism. Whereas there's the Catholic attitude, I think, very much like the Catholic world in the modern world, at least, is like religion is like it's just a facility we have for birthing people, getting married, and dying. And only priests take it seriously, but they're wearing bright colours, so we can see them coming a mile away. And we know which ones to treat with suspicion, because it's obvious they're not just wearing a shirt. So. But yeah, don't get into this stuff. Advocate STEM, advocate progress, and lifting ourselves into a different stage of civilization, and not going backwards.